week. We got our legs, back, and tricep to finish it off. First one of the day is a deadlift. So this one is a great lift, but it's also one that a lot of people can hurt themselves on. Kind of even, maybe it's not in the exercise, but they're doing it wrong for a long time, and it shows up later on the field. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to do it with a barbell, but you can also use the trap bar. But I'm going to hold that thing, so you can either hold it with palms both at you, or a lot of people like to go one hand closed, one hand open. I'm going to go palms straight at me. So it's similar to the squat where I'm going to be dropping down. I'm not going to be just hinging here. I'm grabbing that and going straight up. You should almost be scraping your shins on the way up, and the feet just pretty much about shoulder width. Coming down, really sinking, sinking, sinking. Weight hits the ground, come back on up. Same rules apply to squat. Don't let my knees go over. Really kick that butt, tighten the core, keep the back flat as possible. And this is not the straight leg deadlift, so we're not hinging as much at the hips, but we are trying to bend completely down, hit, and then come back up. On the back exercise, we have our cable face pulls here. You guys should be familiar with this one. So we got the cable somewhere around head to chest-ish height, and I'm going to go back up. I have my thumbs on the inside, and I'm going to try to take them all the way to the back of my ear, so I'm really pinching. Go slow on the way back. Push yourself to get to that extension. As you can see, the elbows are way kicked back as far as you can, and the hands are trying to reach past my ears if possible. And as the class 1 box jumps, I just got my bench here, but choose a box that's going to push you, but also make sure you're doing it safely. But either way, no matter what size of box you use, try to just jump as high as you can and then land very, very softly. That's the key. It's landing soft, but exploding as hard as you can. So it's just going to be up, and then sticking it, trying to be as quiet. I've had a coach tell me, try to be like a ninja when you land, and then go back down. Big jump, stick it, walk it back down. All right, we got barbell hip thrust, so I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. The first one is the slightly more advanced. So I'm going to be having my elbows, kind of shoulders on a bench. I got that barbell there. I'm going to thrust it up. Now I'm going to grab the barbell, go down where my butt would be touching the ground, and then thrust back up, really pushing through your hamstrings and your glutes. So the second way to do it is just a little bit simpler. You're not on the bench, but instead you're just laying on the floor, and you're doing the exact same thing. So with this, we are really pushing through our heels, not the ball of our feet, but through our heels, using those hamstrings and glutes. And when we get to the top of that press, make sure we are fully extended with the hips. We don't want to have so much weight where we can only get to here, but we want to fully move those hips on our barbell hip thrust. All right, tricep exercise, we got our reverse tricep pulley, one arm. And so what I'm going to be doing is now, normally I'd have my palm down, but here I'm going to have my palm facing towards me. Elbows again are going to be right by the side, making sure that we're not going to roll the whole shoulder forward, but we're holding that thing back. And then this time you're pushing down through your thumb and using your tricep that way, doing our reverse pulleys. All right, we got the classic dumbbell row. So I'm going to be doing my right arm here, left leg is on the bench, left hand is on the bench, right leg is out a little ways, making sure that my back is staying flat. And I want to make sure I have a good separation here, so I'm not way, way back here, but I'm also not leaning forward, making sure that my knee is right under my hip, my hand is right under my shoulder. I'm just going right into there, getting a big row, so we're not yanking the whole thing, we're trying to really isolate the lat here. And on this one, again, we're doing heavier now, so really push yourself on the weight. You should be able to do a lot with that one. All right, now the jumping one here, so this is our split squat, jump to switch, basically just a lunge jump. So we're going to start in the lunge, and then we're going to jump as high up as we can, really, really exploding, and we're just going to be switching feet into our lunge. So going there, land, stick it, reset, and then go straight back into it. So it's not rapid. Again, I want you to land, hold it, make sure you're stable and you're balanced, and then go again. All right, I have our Bulgarian squats here. So I'm going to give you 2 options. You can either use the dumbbells. So if you're still a little bit newer, use the dumbbells. But basically, we've done this one before. One foot is up on the bench, the other one is out in front, and we're going down, really getting all the way deep into that. Should even feel a little bit of stretch in your quad there. And then going back down, so we're doing one leg all the way through first. So if we do it with a barbell, you can either choose to use that front squat grip that we talked about earlier, or just have that classic one on the shoulders, but you should be still doing the same thing. I do suggest if you do it this way, to maybe have a spotter or something like that to make sure you're not going to go out of balance, because with dumbbells you can just drop them, but with a barbell it's a little bit tougher. But otherwise, doing that exact same motion, really keeping the back in a good posture and not letting yourself slouch over. All right, we got some classic bench tricep dips, but making sure at this point we should be able to add in some weight to this. So we're just going to hold the weight on our lap, get our feet set. So you can either have a chair, bench out in front of you, or even a physio ball if you really want to push yourself to have to kind of stabilize a little bit more. But otherwise, you're just going classic tricep dip, going all the way down, pressing it up, and then make sure we kind of walk our feet back. And then when we're done, we can get our butt on the bench so we don't drop this weight on our legs. All right, one arm cable reverse flies in the back. So similar to when we did the one arm forward flies, we're gonna go actually at a 45-degree angle this time. Again, just going the other way, just to make sure we're getting a little bit more range of motion with this arm. So you can almost go closer to a 90-degree away from it, but we're going here. Arm stays straight, all the way pinched on the scap there. Control it on the way back. So a big one with this is you should be able to keep your elbow almost completely locked out that whole time, so you're just using those back muscles. All right, we have our box falls to jump. So this one we're actually going to be starting up on an elevated box. Again, I would suggest quite a bit higher than this. And basically all you're going to be doing is you're going to be kind of slightly jumping off, landing on 2 feet, with the idea as soon as I land, I'm going to try to explode up as quick as possible. So it's not going to look like this. It's not going to be somewhere you go and get deep into it, but instead when we hit that ground we want to explode up. So it should look something a little bit more like this. It should be right there. So as soon as we hit that ground, we're trying to shoot up straight to the sky.